Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the video. My name is Bradley, also known as the Swim Coach. Today we're going to be looking at my team for game week 28. The deadline is Saturday at 11 AM. Beforehand, if you do like this video, please hit that like button. So hit that subscribe button down below. So down below is also all my socials. Come and join me whenever I go live. Feel free to. So let's get into my team for game week 28. So, as you can see, I've gone with Pickford against Wolves. Flecken is my other goalkeeper, but we'll talk about that in a second. So, I've gone for a back three. It's a bit of a sure one, and I'll explain why. So, I've got Robinson as one of my back three against Brighton, who are form, especially with their FA Cup win against Newcastle. And it is a bit of a tricky one, but I'm trying to save my transfer purely because of game week 29, trying with the Carabao Cup, with 4 teams not playing that weekend, like Liverpool, Newcastle, Villa and Palace. So got a bit of a problem where I've got, I think, 4 players in my team. So I do need to look at that as well. So, so it's left me a bit hard. And also one of my players being out injured for the rest of the season. Gulliver, again, the Forest, both teams, 3rd versus 4th. Hard games. Forest, on the other hand, do have a bit of a hard run of games. They're just ending their hard run, so be good. But it is at Forest, so it could be a tricky game. Trent against Southampton. It is at Anfield, so strong bit. A hard game in the Champions League for Liverpool, but they came and won late on. There could be a bit more. It's against Southampton, who are not doing well. See how that gets on. My defence. Now you can see I've gone for 5. Defence. My midfield, I've gone for 5. So I've gone 1 year. It is against United. United did struggle in their Europa League game or Europa League conference. One of the two. I forgot what they were in. It's at Old Trafford, but Arsenal winning in PSV 7-1 in their last game. They didn't have an FA Cup weekend, so they did have a game off, so that's quite nice. It'll be interesting. A lot of people are saying that Arsenal are going to win 2 or 3-0. In the FA Cup, they drew against us in the FA Cup, but beat us on penalties. So we'll see how that goes. Palmer is against Leicester. I've got a few concerns with Palmer, but he hasn't been getting the points. I hope against a poor Leicester side, but he should have done that against Southampton as well, but he didn't. Then they do have 3 London derbies between Arsenal, Spurs and Brentford. That could be a bit of a tricky one. So we'll see how that all pans out. They do have some hard fixtures coming up, especially like Everton, who are high flying, who are top of the league. Newcastle batting for that Champions League spot. United's trying to get up the league, and also Nottingham Forest trying to get a Champions League spot. So again, some interesting games coming up for Chelsea. Can't question this player at the moment. The top man of them all, Mo Salah. He is worth 13.8 million. The top midfielder. 10.4 points per game. So that's really good. 291 points he's had. 41 have been bonus points. Very, very lovely. do have Southampton, but there's no game week 29 because they're in that Carabao Cup final. And they did have their scheduled game against Villa back here. So, again, they're going to have that week, well, not week off, but Premier League week off, should we say. They've got some lovely fixtures coming up. Merseyside derby could be a bit of a tricky one. Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal back-to-back could be a bit of a problem. Never know. And you never know what you're looking at with Spurs at the moment. And talking about Spurs, Justin Kluivert. They've got Spurs at Spurs. So that's the tricky one. But then they do have Brentford, Ipswich and West Ham, which they could probably beat. So that's a nice little layout there for him. So I've gone with Rodgers. My other one. Not much points per game, but has been hit miss, then does get a few games on the row. So hopefully against Brentford it could work out. But again, there's no game week 29. So I do have to look at that. So there's players that are game week 29. So I can't have that on my bench. Pedro, again, done really well. Last two games, 20 points in the last two games. Can't knock that off. 4.8, 8th best forward. So nice. 101 points, 20 bonus points. So, okay. But they do have City and Villa who are fighting for that Champions League spot. So, again, could be some hard fixtures. And they do have some hard fixtures near the end as well. Isaac. Now, Isaac's a bit of a mystery one because they've had that injury. He's not playing game week 29. So, there's 4 players now that I haven't got. And that means I can't put them all on the bench. That's why I'm trying to save my transfers for game week 29 because I can put those on the bench and potentially change one player out. As you can see, I've gone Flecken. It is against Villa. Villa are doing really well, especially their win in the Champions League. Chris Wood, I put on the bench. That was a bit of a not sure, especially I was thinking, put him on the bench or do I put Rodgers on the bench? I decided to go with Chris Wood just because it's against City and I don't know. Mikalenko, again, he's a tough one. I could have probably put him and Robinson. I may do it last minute and switch him out. So if that does happen, okay, you'll find out. But we'll see. And of course, Lewis Hall out for the rest of the season. So basically next week, I will try and transfer Lewis Hall out with someone else as well, just so I can plan for game week 29 as well. And it'll probably be someone Rodgers. I won't get rid of Salah. It'd be someone like Rodgers and Hall that I'll probably get rid of. Just because that Villa predicament. And then probably who I can work out for game week 29 and onwards. So yeah. Here are the fixtures for game week 28. We have a lunchtime kickoff against Forest and City. So that is 3rd versus 4th. Our 3 o'clock fixtures, we have Brighton versus Fulham, Palace versus Ipswich, or Southampton. Then have a 5:30 kickoff, which is Brentford versus Villa. Have an evening kickoff, Wolves versus Everton. Then we go into our Sunday fixtures. At 2 o'clock fixtures, we have Chelsea versus Leicester. And then we have Spurs versus Bournemouth. To round off Sunday, have Manchester United versus Arsenal. And then to follow it all off, Monday Night Football, West Ham versus Newcastle. So let's get into, again, players that people got in. Now, since my last video, there's been a lot of transfers for certain people, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, again, 5 million, that could be a nice little switch out with someone like Lewis Hall and Munoz. But I think for me, it could be actually a good one. They've got no game week 29. They've got Ipswich and Southampton either side. So put them on the bench, potentially. So it is going to be a hard one for what you want to do. Now, with Palace's fixtures, they've got a hard one here. And they've still got... So I think people are only looking for game week 29, 28 and 30 for Palace players. It's going to be tricky. Wednesday, Brentford have got some tricky fixtures. That is going to be a hard fought fixtures. I would say that is going to be a hard one for Brentford. Mazraoui has only been playing since game week 23 for Man City, bought in the transfer window. Has done really well, got 25 points, 5 points per game, which is the 6th best forward. So no mess around, 7.2 million. So that could be a good switch for him and Isaac for that game week 29. That's a nice lot as well. And with City's fixtures after that, quite nice. There's some tricky ones, but hey, no team in the Premier League are easy. Talked about Cliver. So is another one. Just dropped against Brentford there. But again, got some interesting fixtures. Then they've got the toughie. They've got Liverpool. They've got Arsenal. They've got Forest. They've got City. They've got Chelsea. 5 games back to back for Everton. That is going to be a struggle for Everton. We'll have to see. I don't know, but then they do have nice games. Ipswich, Fulham, and Southampton. Ipswich and Southampton both at home. So that's a good one as well. People could be looking for Beto as well. I understand that one. Szoboszlai, again, doing really well. But again, there's no game week 29. So, going to be spending and losing the 4 points because they're trying to get someone else in. There we go. Okay. Again, it switches out, but then you're worried about your bench. That it's going to be a toughie, I think. If Palace didn't have that blank game, I would say 100% have Palace players in your team without taking a 4-point hit. So yeah, I think that's what you could do if you really wanted to. You could potentially, let's go Palace again. You could potentially still got your manager. You could probably hit your manager for this game week. Transfer it to another manager for game week 29. And then go back to Southampton. That's a possibility. Now, fixture-wise for game week 29, you could probably look at Spurs Forest, maybe Spurs Fulham, Brighton, Bournemouth to get the extra bonus points as well. Maybe even Brighton City. Brighton City could be a nice little one. Maybe it's 5 points. Brighton. Here. City. Oh, no, too much. Okay. Spurs, Fulham. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Doesn't work. Who did United have, actually? Who did United have? Leicester, so that doesn't help either. Ipswich Boys could. I'll probably go with this game. Everton, West Ham. Moisey playing against West Ham. That could be an interesting one. But yeah. And then the following week, you go to your Palace manager against Southampton. So that's some interesting ones you can do. You can even go with Dyche, and hopefully you get a draw. You get these bonus points. That's another option. And to be honest, you can do that with Everton as well. So I think you could look. And I think as for me, I'm going to do the Moisey games against let me tell you who I'm going to try and do it against. So I'm going to do it against Forest, City and Chelsea. So they're the games I'm going to try and do it against. And hopefully we get points or bonus points. That's what I'm going to try and do. If it doesn't work out, hey, I may even go City, Chelsea, which just to get the extra bonus points. And we'll see. And wait for the Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, the last 3 of the season. Yeah, you won't gain bonus points, but potentially get some wins. So got to weigh it up a little bit with this assistant manager. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like this video. Good luck for game week. So, good luck for game week 28. And I will catch you on Tuesday morning, because that's when my next video will be out, on showing how the results got on. So for now, let's have a lovely time, stay safe, and good luck for game week 28. Bye for now.